Today was my first trip back to Lake Lure since Hurricane Helene blew through, and I really didn't know what to expect. But as I turned onto Memorial Drive, I was pleasantly surprised to see water in the lake, and I actually thought it was being filled up again. But by the time I got to the little chapel by the lake, those illusions were dashed when I saw that the lake out here is still drained. But so far, I didn't see all of the work that's going into bringing the lake back, and we'll see a little bit of that later on. As I walked along beside Lake Lure Beach, I was struck by just how normal everything has gotten here. It's almost as if nothing ever happened. The buildings all look to be in great shape. The landscaping is still intact. The lifeguard towers are still in the same place. It's just an empty lake and an empty beach to remind me of what happened here on September 27th, 9 months ago. This is what's left of the boardwalk that connects this part of Lake Lure to Morse Park and the marina. Looks like it's time to turn around and get the car and head out to Morse Park and see what it looks like. It may be a little bit hard to see, but that is Chimney Rock right in the middle of the frame in the distance. By the time I got to Morse Park, I started seeing some of the damage left from the storm. About half of the park is open today, but the rest is full of heavy equipment where work crews are busy removing silt and debris from the lake bed. This wooden platform jutted out into the lake and provided a great view of the boats in the marina and the surrounding mountains. As we get close to the gazebo, we can see that it's really in great shape, and a lot of the landscaping around it has been restored, and really this whole part, this whole half of Morse Park looks great today. ahead, we can see the broad river still cutting its way through the lake bed. And soon we'll hit the end of the line, as far as we can go through the park today. You can see that the Lake Lure Visitor Center has been turned into the hub for reconstruction efforts, and this was a little bit unnerving walking along this little patch of grass, but I wanted to make it down to have a look at the flowering bridge. Now, after I left Lake Lure, I drove up the road to have a look at Chimney Rock. The town there is in so much worse shape than Lake Lure is, and probably because it was right next to the Broad River, and the flooding along the Broad River is really so much worse than what it was on this side of Lake Lure. And there were parts of the town that were just completely washed away. But today there are a few places open. Not many. Most of them are still boarded up, and there are a lot of people working there. I was told that the town is closed until further notice. One thing I did see that was kind of surprising is apparently there are a lot of Amish workers who are helping to bring the town back. Now, I don't know if they are from one of the Amish settlements in North Carolina. There's one in Rutherford, I know. And one in Statesville. I don't know if they came from there or if they came down from Ohio and Pennsylvania to help out. But I didn't realize they were there until I made my trip. Before leaving, I wanted to take a walk up to the flowering bridge and see how it looks. I remember the day of the storm and the days after watching footage of the flooding along the Broad River, and they kept saying this is Lake Lure, and they showed a single bridge over the Broad River when I knew there should be two bridges there. And I kept looking trying to get the angle, figure out where they were, because I expected the main bridge over Highway 64 and the flowering bridge right next to it. And then I realized that from the angle they were showing, that was the bridge on 64, but the flowering bridge was gone. Thankfully, when we get out to see the bridge, we'll see that it has not been washed away completely. I don't know about the structural stability of it, but we'll see. Part of it is still being maintained by the garden club, and I don't know what the future holds for it, but I'm sure something is going to be there in its place.